Welcome back, my friends, as we defend the Republic. I have cleared the phone lines. I apologize to other callers who were holding, but I want to have the phones open for military and police who have been part of drills to take on the American people. Now, it's been in the news. This has been going on for years, but more and more is coming out. They could just have dry exercises where combatants try to attack military bases. But no, they say Tea Parties, gun owners, former veterans. And we have the MIAC and Homeland Security reports that law enforcement sent me. We broke both those last year. I mean, the point is we're on top of this, okay? And to even talk about this subject, I can't even give you all the data in one show. It's so ridiculous. I called Watson 30 minutes ago, and he's great at boil-down articles. Nemo has an excellent article just on this latest development at Infowars.com, where the military is training to take on the Tea Party as terrorists. We already know that. They got sound cannons, microwave guns they're rolling out now at events. They're trying to say we're all racist to demonize us. That's not working. They're globalizing the U.S. They're trying to get rid of our borders, bring in G20 control, value-added taxes, total oppression. And, ladies and gentlemen, Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA. 2 hours, 20-plus minutes long, 30 minutes of extras. When you purchase it, it supports this show. What's 30 minutes of the 2-hour film? It's the G20. Military snatching and grabbing protesters off the streets, putting them in cars. My camera guys go up to the military peacefully and say, we want to interview your public affairs officer. We have your press release. And they said, go park over there. Then they came over and said, we're not going to talk to you, leave. And it was 8 o'clock at night. And then they called the police and said we were trying to blow up the military base. And the police showed up and said, we're going to say you're a terrorist. You ran, you were sneaking around. All lies. So just out of hand, we're terrorists. They've all been taught we're the enemy. They've been taught. And Gerald Celente thinks they will fire on citizens, that they will do it, especially after the feds blow up a military base and blame it on us. And we now have the government blocking Congress's subpoenas on the shooter at Fort Hood. That was done during a drill. We know that the Hatari militia thing was a setup, and they had feds inside provocateuring it to create a news headline that, oh, the militias are about to attack to coincide with the false flags. We cover it all in Police State 4, the Rise of FEMA, available at Infowars.com. Get it, make copies of it, give it to everyone you know, air it on Access TV. Invisible Empire, New Order Defined, shows you who these criminals are, how they're running these systems. 2 new films released in the month of April. Get them out to everybody, Infowars.com or 888-253-3139. Now, for military and police, this hour into the next, I want to go back to Dr. Bob Bowman, specifically who've been in these drills or talked to other officers that were in these drills with the military, with police, with the feds, totally illegal. We know the military sent us the document that was later confirmed to be real last year, that Ron Paul events are being watched by the Army. Call into the show. Call in from a payphone. Whatever you want. Call in. Tell us what is going on. Give us your concern, or even if you haven't been part of these drills, if you have a concern about this. How many years have I told you this is being set up for the American people? We've got to raise the alarm now, and that's what Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA, does. You can call toll-free, 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139, or write to me, Alex Jones, P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas, 78760. Dr. Bob Bowman has been a huge supporter of Oath Keepers. Perhaps, Dr. Bowman, you should explain that. Guys, print me the 10 pledges of Oath Keepers. It's on their site. Let's go over that, and then the organization you've launched and the speaking tour you've done around the country, reaching hundreds of thousands of people, and where this is going and how people can get involved in thepatriots.us.
Okay, well, we're an organization that is all across the political spectrum, and we want a peaceful revolution to restore the republic. The way things are going, they're heading us toward violent revolution, and we don't want that. So the only way to have a peaceful revolution is to make sure that enough people in the military and law enforcement understand what's at stake, understand what their oath means, and wind up on our side, the side of the people, not the side of a few crazies in the government that tell them to do something stupid, like round us up and throw us in FEMA camps. So that's in the short term, but we have to have a long-term solution to bring about this peaceful revolution, an electoral solution. And so we're asking all of our chapters to groom candidates to run in both the Democratic and Republican primaries for Congress. We eventually have to vote out all of the members of Congress that are not on side of the people. And, you know, the number that are on the side of the people and following the Constitution are very few. I mean, we've got Ron Paul, Dennis Kucinich, Alan Grayson, you know, just a very few. But if your particular representative is one of the vast majority that's on the take and supporting the giant corporations and the global terrorists that want to take over our country and that are grabbing it now, if that's the case, then you have to vote them out. We have to vote out every incumbent that is not one of the handful that is really trying to serve the people. And to do that, we can no longer just go to the polls as Greens or Libertarians or Independents or write-in candidates. We have to take over the Republican and Democratic parties from within because the system is stacked in their favor. And so that's what we're trying to do. And our members of the Patriots, members of our chapters, are going to be running for Congress as Republicans and Democrats. Hopefully we get a few of them running in 2010 and a lot more in 2012. And see what we can do. Then we're going to hold their feet to the fire when we get somebody in and make sure that they don't wind up on the take like everybody else. And we demand the changes, the real changes that we need in this country.
And there's massive, to interrupt, massive grassroots concern and involvement, and people are really getting off the bench now. And so now is the time for the Campaign for Liberty, for your organization, for Oath Keepers, for everybody, for the listeners of this broadcast, for We Are Change, for InfoWarriors, to get the word out like the life of this country depends on it, because the global takeover is happening right now. And I do want to just have you continue, but I wanted to throw this out for military, for police, to get their concern about the fact that they're being openly trained to take on the American people. Either your concerns or what you've witnessed. We'll cover it all. But let me give that toll-free number out to military and police and others only. The phones are wide open for you. 1-800-259-9231. 1-800-259-9231. And here's that number again. If you're driving along in your squad car or you're on leave and listening, 1-800-259-9231. Please continue, Dr. Bob Bowman.
Yeah, well, we eventually have to take over the government so that we have a government that follows the Constitution, honors the truth, and serves the people. Those are essential ingredients of a populist government, a government that will be, you know, as Lincoln said, for the people. And we certainly don't have that now. We have a government by and for the corporations and the billionaires, and we have to get away from that. And once we do, then we can demand an end to the corporate wars, cut off all the funding, bring our troops home from all the 150, 170, 180 countries they're stationed in around the world. Give the bases back to the home countries and use our military only for protecting our borders and our people. That is their constitutional mission. That's their only constitutional mission. And if we make that one change in military policy to eliminate the mission of protecting the global financial interests of multinational corporations, we can greatly enhance our national security and simultaneously reduce the defense budget by 80%. Now, that's a step toward fiscal responsibility, and I think it's worth thinking about. That's just one change that can be made when we get a government that follows the Constitution, honors the truth, and serves the people.
And let's be clear,